Everyone knows about the Mall of America and the Boundary Waters, but Minnesota is hiding some incredible spots that almost nobody talks about. In this video, I'm taking you through 11 hidden gems across Minnesota, from scenic drives and storybook towns to museums that feel like time machines. And make sure you stick around for our final stop, because it's a place so vast and beautiful, even lifelong Minnesotans don't realize just how much it has to offer. All right, let's jump right in. Number 11, North Shore Scenic Drive. If you love the kind of road trip where every curve feels like it belongs on a postcard, the North Shore Scenic Drive is calling your name. Winding along Lake Superior, Highway 61 feels more like an epic film set than a stretch of asphalt. Towering cliffs rise dramatically above the water, waterfalls tumble down ancient rock faces, and the endless blue horizon stretches so far, it almost feels unreal. Each stop along the way feels like uncovering a hidden chapter of Minnesota's story. Gooseberry Falls crashes with untamed energy, while Split Rock Lighthouse perches on its cliff like a watchful guardian of the lake. Even the quiet pull-offs offer moments of peace, rocky beaches where driftwood gathers, or overlooks where the only sound is the wind off the lake. And yet, there's a mystique here that's hard to explain, like the lake itself is keeping secrets just below the surface. Some days, Superior is calm and shimmering, a mirror of the sky. Other times, it thrashes like an ocean, swallowing the horizon in whitecaps. Whether you're chasing fall colors, hiking to hidden waterfalls, or catching the shimmer of icy shores in winter, every mile feels cinematic. But here's the strange thing. Locals say, no matter how many times you drive it, there's always one hidden spot you somehow missed. What could you be overlooking? Number 10, Glen Sheen Mansion. Step through the gates of Glen Sheen Mansion in Duluth, and it feels like time folds back a century. This 39-room estate, built by the wealthy Congdon family in the early 1900s, isn't just another lavish home. It's a snapshot of Gilded Age ambition perched dramatically on the edge of Lake Superior. Every hallway whispers wealth and power, from carved oak staircases to glittering stained glass windows. But the deeper you wander, the heavier the atmosphere grows. Glen Sheen's story isn't just about luxury, it's forever tied to one of Minnesota's most infamous unsolved mysteries. In 1977, heiress Elizabeth Congdon and her nurse were found murdered inside the mansion. The case captivated the state, sparking endless questions and conspiracy theories that have never been fully put to rest. Tours today highlight both its grandeur and its shadows. You'll marvel at the opulence, the velvet drapes, the ornate chandeliers, the intricate woodwork, but you may also feel the weight of silence in certain rooms. Guides share the Congdon legacy, but visitors often admit they sense something more lingering in the air. The mansion is breathtaking, but it's also unsettling, as if its walls remember what happened. And here's the unnerving part. Some guests claim they felt Elizabeth's presence still walking those halls. Could the mansion's story truly be finished? Number 9, Can Wonderland. What happens when artists take over an abandoned factory? You get Can Wonderland, a mini golf meets carnival fever dream that feels like stepping into someone's imagination. Imagine putting your ball through a giant hot dog, down a swirling loop-de-loop, or across a tilted circus tent, all designed by local artists who unleash their wildest ideas. Each hole is a blend of imagination and humor, turning what should be a simple putt into a surreal adventure. The atmosphere hums with neon lights and the clatter of retro arcade games. Murals splash across the walls, and live music often fills the air, giving the whole place an electric carnival-like vibe. Families laugh, friends compete, and everyone seems caught between wonder and disbelief at the strange scenes unfolding before them. What makes it even more fascinating is the setting itself. Can Wonderland is housed inside a massive old canning factory where workers once churned out cans for everyday products. The walls that once echoed with the rhythm of industry now pulse with art, sound, and creativity. Number 8, Historic Fort Snelling. Standing tall at the confluence of the Mississippi and Minnesota rivers, historic Fort Snelling is more than a stone fortress. It's a crossroads of cultures, conflict, and survival. Built in the early 1800s, this stronghold once marked the edge of American expansion. Soldiers drilled in its courtyards, treaties were signed in its offices, and decisions made here altered the course of countless lives. For native Dakota people, this ground carries a much deeper and more painful weight. The fort is tied to stories of exile, broken promises, and resilience in the face of overwhelming change. Walking its grounds, you feel the collision of perspectives. Progress to some, tragedy to others. Today, costumed interpreters bring the daily rhythm of 19th century life to vivid reality. Blacksmiths hammer at anvils, soldiers march in formation, and families go about the routines of frontier survival. It's easy to get swept up in the bustling reenactments, but pause for a moment, and you'll notice the quiet, the wind through the trees, the steady rivers below, reminders that history doesn't rest. This is a place where triumph and grief exist side by side, a site that forces you to reckon with America's complex past. Number 7, Gamel Gordon Museum. Tucked away in Scandia, the Gamel Gordon Museum feels like stepping into a 19th century Swedish village carefully preserved on Minnesota soil. Weathered red cottages, rustic barns, and the oldest Lutheran parsonage in the state all tell the story of immigrants carving out a new life in our harsh but hopeful land. As you stroll through the grounds, it's easy to imagine families gathered around warm hearths, speaking their native tongue and clinging to traditions from across the ocean. The air smells faintly of pine, and the worn timber buildings seem to hum with quiet resilience. Unlike massive museums filled with glass cases, Gamel Gordon draws you in with its simplicity. Handmade tools rest where they would have been used, quilts hang in cozy corners, and wooden pews inside the chapel speak of a community bound by faith and perseverance. Seasonal festivals bring it all to life. Midsummer celebrations with maypoles and flower crowns, or candlelit Christmas gatherings filled with carols. It's not flashy or overwhelming, but that's where its charm lies. This is a place that celebrates the everyday courage of ordinary people. Number 6, American Swedish Institute. In the heart of Minneapolis rises a mansion that feels like it belongs in a European fairy tale. The American Swedish Institute is more than just a cultural center. It's a castle-like landmark built in 1908 by Swan Turnblad, a Swedish immigrant who made his fortune in publishing. With its turrets, elaborate stonework, and ornate wood-carved interiors, the building itself is a masterpiece of craftsmanship. But the Institute's story stretches far beyond Turnblad's legacy. Today, it serves as a vibrant bridge between past and present, connecting Minnesota to Scandinavia through art, culture, and community. Inside, you'll find rotating exhibits that range from traditional folk art to cutting-edge Nordic design. Seasonal events bring even more magic. Lucia festivals fill the halls with candlelight and song, midsummer celebrations overflow with flowers and dancing, and food tastings offer a delicious bite of heritage. It's both regal and welcoming, grand in architecture, but warm in spirit. Every corner seems to whisper a reminder that heritage isn't just about the past, it's something living, breathing, and evolving with every generation. Number 5, Stillwater. If there's one town in Minnesota that feels like a storybook come to life, it's Stillwater. Hugging the banks of the St. Croix River, Stillwater feels like a town that time never let go. Known as Minnesota's oldest town, it has an atmosphere that blends nostalgia with quiet charm. Picture cobblestone streets lined with antique shops, vintage storefronts glowing with warm lights, and riverboats drifting lazily along the water. Every corner seems to hold a story, whether it's hidden in the creak of a century-old floorboard or tucked inside a dusty old book waiting to be discovered. The town's past as a lumbering powerhouse still lingers in its handsome brick buildings, yet today, it thrives as a cozy escape. Cafes spill onto sidewalks, boutiques display treasures you won't find anywhere else, and the river views are nothing short of breathtaking, especially at sunset when the sky melts into shades of gold and violet. Strolling across the historic lift bridge, you feel both the pulse of history and the calm of small-town life. Stillwater is a town that invites you to slow down, breathe deep, and let curiosity guide you. But if Stillwater is the gateway to nostalgia, what happens when you head further north? Into a town that feels more like a dream than reality. Number 4, Grand Marais. At the edge of the Gunflint Trail, Grand Marais is the kind of place that makes you question whether you've stepped into reality or a painting. This harbor town feels both remote and magical, where rugged shoreline meets an artsy, free-spirited community. The scent of pine mixes with the briny air of the lake, and everywhere you turn, there's a scene worth capturing. Rocky beaches, sailboats bobbing in the harbor, and the lighthouse standing firm against Superior's moods. Grand Marais thrives on creativity. Local galleries brim with handmade art, coffee shops hum with conversation, and tiny restaurants serve up flavors as bold as the landscape itself. Festivals light up the streets with music and color, yet even on the quietest day, there's a warmth that radiates from its people. Then there's the backdrop. Superior National Forest stretches out behind the town, whispering promises of adventure. Trails wind into the wilderness, waterfalls tumble through deep gorges, and at night, the stars blanket the sky with a clarity you rarely see anywhere else. Grand Marais is enchanting, but it's not the only Minnesota town where beauty and history collide. Number 3, Red Wing. Red Wing stands proudly along the Mississippi, a town shaped by both its river and its resilience. At first glance, its historic downtown feels like a postcard. Red brick buildings, boutique storefronts, and a steady hum of small town life. But there's more here than charm. Red Wing has long been a place where craftsmanship and culture flourish. The town is famous for its pottery and, of course, its iconic boots, each carrying the spirit of hard work and durability. Visit the Red Wing Shoe Museum and you'll find not just footwear, but a legacy that literally walked the world. The mighty Mississippi frames it all, and hiking up Barn Bluff gives you a bird's eye view of the river winding endlessly into the horizon. Red Wing is alive with festivals, art, and a sense of community that feels timeless. It's cozy, it's proud, and it's steeped in history. Yet there's an adventurous side waiting just beyond the city streets. Trails beckon, the river calls, and the bluffs remind you that nature and culture are never far apart here. Red Wing grounds you, but Minnesota has towns that pull you higher, deeper into the wilderness. Because up north lies a place where adventure isn't optional. It's the very heartbeat of the town. Number 2, Ely. If adventure had a hometown, it would be Ely. This is where the pavement ends and the real adventure begins. Canoes glide across mirror-still lakes, loons call out across the water, and ancient pines tower in silence. It's not just a place, it's an invitation to lose yourself in nature. Ely thrives on its outdoor spirit. Outfitters line the streets, ready to equip you for journeys into the wild. The town hums with explorers swapping stories, and everywhere you look, there's evidence of a community deeply tied to the land. Museums highlight its mining past, while wolf and bear centers give you a close look at the creatures that still roam just beyond the tree line. Even so, Ely has a quirky side. You might stumble upon a festival dedicated to winter sports, or find locals swapping tales of northern lights so vivid they almost felt unreal. The pace is slower, the vibe more rugged, but the energy is electric. Ely is where you trade city noise for the rush of waterfalls and the hush of endless forest. Number 1, Ottertail County's 1,000 Lakes. On number 1, we have a place where numbers speak louder than words. Ottertail County holds more than 1,000 lakes, each with its own secret personality. Some are mirror smooth and perfect for a sunrise paddle, while others are sprawling playgrounds for fishing and summer fun. Talking about summer, summers here are pure magic. Families gather on sandy beaches, kids leap off docks, and anglers cast lines into waters teeming with bass and walleye. As the sun sets, campfires flicker, and loons call across the twilight. Come autumn, fiery colors reflect off the still waters, creating a kaleidoscope of reds and golds. Even winter transforms these lakes into playgrounds of ice fishing shacks and snow-dusted trails. Ottertail isn't just about recreation, it's about connection. Each lake has its own character, its own rhythm, and exploring them feels like unraveling a never-ending secret. Small towns around the county thrive on this abundance, with local diners, festivals, and community gatherings tied to the water. But here's the question. After seeing so many lakes, do you think you could ever choose just one favorite? And there you have it. 11 hidden gems that prove Minnesota is so much more than the Mall of America and the Boundary Waters. From haunted mansions and charming river towns to scenic drives and thousands of shimmering lakes, these spots show a side of Minnesota most people never get to see. Hopefully, this list inspires you to hit the road and discover the state's best kept secrets for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more hidden travel gems across the US. And let me know in the comments, have you been to any of these places? Or do you have a Minnesota hidden spot we should add to the list?